So here we have Triumph's new Tiger 900. So on my left, I've got the GT, the road-going machine, and on my right, the Rally Pro. Both of these bikes are kind of largely the same, sharing common components such as the engine, the frame, brakes, all that kind of stuff, but they are very different machines. I mean, even aesthetically, you pick up straight away with the Rally having the kind of larger front wheel, 21-inch front wheel, spokes, etc., whereas the GT is all about great road handling. We started off yesterday by riding the GT Pro, and my first impression of that was really quite pleasurable. So we rode on a variety of roads, kind of rough, tight, twisty, then fast open sweepers. It kind of had everything you would expect on a huge trip that would take 6-7 hours in the saddle. So I really got a thorough taste of that bike. What I like most about it is that for the new 2024 spec, the engine, which is still at the 900 T-plane crank design, is 13% more powerful. So it's now up over the 100 horsepower threshold. It's got more torque as well. So it's got a real punchy, quirky, characterful motor, very linear in its delivery. And the more you ask of it, the more it comes alive. It's one of those engines that you crack that throttle and more urgency comes through. It doesn't matter what part of the rev range you are, but it's also very docile and usable low down as well. So as exciting as the engine is, on the road, I found that the engine kind of just suited me and my riding and what I was asking for at any point in time. Very sharp handling as well. I mean, this is a heavy bike. It's over 200 kgs, but it was surprisingly agile. It didn't take a lot of effort to kind of get this bike pitching into corners. And it had that typical plush feel that all Triumphs of late seem to have. Just hugs the ground nicely, tells you everything that's going on, and gives you, the rider, a lot of confidence. I guess one thing that's worth pointing out is the fact that it's still quite a vibey bike. So the last 900 was vibey. This is not as vibey, I should point out, but up around kind of 6,000 RPM, you do get quite a bit of buzz through the foot pegs, through the bars, etc. You could call it character. I mean, it is a triple, and they've done something really cool with the T-plane crank that kind of gives it the best of both worlds, torque down low and then top end up the top. It's a fantastic design of engine, and it's great fun in the corners. I mean, we're riding this bike in the dry and in the wet as well. So, you know, we were able to experience what it was like when you really need a bit of feel in the damp. You know, it was there. Likewise, when we were clocking on and you want to be able to trust in the package, I had complete confidence in it. I mean, it is a big adventure bike, and it's one of those machines that I think when you ride it and you get confident with it, you come to realize straight away that it is special because you're able to do things that other bikes within its class, you can't. On the flip side of that, that's not the bike that swung me over on this 2-day test. It's this machine here. So the Rally Pro is the bike I would go for if I was going to choose one of these machines. So just for context, this weighs in at 14,500 pounds, whereas the GT Pro costs 12,200. So why would I spend the extra money on the Rally Pro? The simple reason is that you open up a whole new world with this bike. So today we have spent the whole day, and I mean the whole day, blasting around trails here in Spain on the outskirts of Malaga. It's been unreal. Just lighting up the rear wheel, sliding into corners, backing it in, hitting jumps, just doing all the kind of daft stuff that I personally like doing. This bike's got real energy to it. You know, you go to touch that throttle. The fueling is so fantastic on both machines, but especially for this bike off-road, when you need precision, you need that clean, crisp pickup, especially if you want to do slides and hold slides, and it's just there. It's got beautiful fueling, and the engine is, yeah, some people might even say it's got too much. It definitely is not lacking, is the way I'd phrase it. It's got so much torque, so much energy. But in the same respect, as I said with the GT, when you're riding this bike off-road, even for slow hairpins, maybe covering the clutch a little bit, it's got the control and discipline that you would hope or expect of a big bike like this. Because, again, throwing the weight into the equation, the last thing you need on a bike of this size is anything getting wayward. I like adventure bikes. I don't get to ride them enough. This bike here is one of those machines that's super focused, but super usable, versatile, and it doesn't matter what speed you're doing, it just kind of seems to tailor towards you. You can make it whatever you want it to be. That said, both bikes have got a very similar suite of electronics. What I would say is that the technology is good, and especially now the Tiger 900 comes with a big 6.5-inch TFT colored dash. Fantastic tech, pretty much the same as what you find on the Tiger 1200. It's got multiple rider modes and different ABS settings, and on the Rally Pro you also can have like an off-road pro setting, which basically disengages the front wheel ABS as well as the rear and takes traction control off. There's also an off-road mode, which means you still have a bit of ABS on the front and a little bit of traction control, and then there's all of the kind of rider modes as well as a customizable mode as per on the GT Pro as well. But what I would say, coming back to it, is if you really want to go into it and, I don't know, maybe lose the traction control but change a power delivery, as I understand it, you can't do that on this bike. It's kind of on or off. You get full power on Off-Road Pro with no traction control. And in that respect, you know, if you're not prepared for it, I should say, you know, this bike is powerful. There's a lot of substance to it and it can catch you out. I mean, today, you know, I've not fallen off this bike, but I have seen people fall off it. Understandably, that often comes down to just the potency of this engine. It is a beast. Things that surprise me include how well the bike cuts through any rough terrain. So we've been hitting boulders, we've been hitting kind of just complete drops in the trail, you know, just where been water erosion or whatever. That 21-inch front wheel just carves its way through anything. We've been on loose stone, we've been on clay, we've been in puddles, we've been in every kind of thing. And I love the feel from the brakes. So on both bikes on the road as well, when I was pushing on with the GT or off-road with the Rally Pro, I had a lot of faith in the Brembo Stylema calipers, a big, powerful calipers on this bike, but there's a real connection between the lever and what happens at the front end. And the same at the rear. I've got to be honest, I've never been on a rear brake as much as I have today. I've had so much fun sliding this bike. You can literally go into a corner, stamp on that rear brake, and you've got so much control. You can like articulate the bike into a bend, just get the thing sliding in. It's just a lot of fun, and one of those things that I've probably used and abused way too much for me today. Like I say, I don't normally go playing with the rear brake, but on this bike here, it's seen some serious abuse. And that comes down to confidence. I think I've had so much confidence in this bike today that I've been able to exploit it in ways that I didn't imagine I would. I mean, I remember back in 2010, I was on the launch of the original Tiger 800. Fantastic bike. I traveled Africa on that bike. But, you know, would I sooner have a Tiger 8 or one of these? 100% one of these. It's just that next level, that next generation. The Tiger 900 has really come of age. It's got the technology, it's got the engine, it's got the handling, it's got the looks. Triumph's done a cracking job with both of these bikes. And if you're interested in this style of machine, get yourself down to Triumph. These bikes are in the dealerships now. Give one a go. But as for me, if I had to take my pick between the two, but this one I'd be taking home with me.